Everybody wants to drive the golf ball further, but how do you really do that? What we're going to go through today is some key points to make you drive your golf ball further. You follow these simple tips, I guarantee you're going to see more yardage out there. First of all, let's understand what actually is not distance, okay? What slows the golf ball down through the air can be too much spin on the golf ball, right? That is the biggest killer of distance. So we want to avoid too high spin. However, the opposite can affect a slower club head speed player as well. If the spin was to get too low, their ball won't carry far enough and they won't actually gain maximum distance. So we've got to try and figure out what's optimal for you, whether you're a low speed player or a high speed player. Let's dive into it. Simple as this sounds, just tee height alone can have a massive effect on what happens to your driver. If I have a ball that's teed too low, like this one here on the left, you can see it's well below the crown of the club. This is going to launch the ball very low with a potential for higher spin due to the fact I'm going to hit it lower in the club face. If I take this one over here on the right, this one for me would be too high. I would have to really make sure that my club's quite a well away off the ground, swinging up on a much greater angle of attack. And there's a lot of great players that do this. You'll see the World Long Drive guys do this. They have deeper face drives, and they're definitely swinging up on the golf ball. I tend to find the one right here in the middle where the ball's roughly around half of the ball above the crown of my club's a good height for myself, just for my regular drives. So play around with this. See which one you hit the most solid on the club face. You can do a little test, maybe put some foot spray on the face and check where you're striking it. Or if you have the ability to get on a TrackMan, you can follow strike location there too. So I'm going to stick with this one here in the middle for myself. Please make sure you go on and subscribe and like the video. Leave all the comments down below that you can. Just helps me get great feedback, and I love communicating with you guys after you've watched these videos. So now let's move on to the next one. So after we've got our tee height figured out, I want you to look at the ball position. This is going to have a direct correlation onto how my angle of attack, which is the angle the club's traveling as it goes through impact. We want a positive, which means we'll be swinging up on the golf ball. Okay, so as you can see, if I was to put it back towards my trail side, the odds are the club would be coming more downwards before it levels. So obviously that's not the best. We're going to play this somewhere inside the left foot here. Now it could be in line with the foot if you've got more motion to your left side, maybe a little bit more flexible. As we get older and we have less motion into our forwards foot, maybe you just come back where it's a couple of inches, but we definitely want to keep it in that forwards part of our stance. Tying into that, as I set up to the golf ball, I want to be careful that I don't move my head over here so I'm looking at the ball. I want to make a good strong tilt to my right like this. And you can see here the sternum or my body angle is very similar to my left thigh. So if I was to stand up straight, take my tilt here, I'm now looking at the back of the golf ball. This is going to give me a good setup position where I can move into the next part of the golf swing. Okay, so from there, ball position forwards, take my tilt. This comes to part 3. So what we want to maintain is a very wide hand path. We're trying to max out the width of our backswing here as we go back. A narrow golf swing is going to bring the club down steep, or it's going to require me to hang back and put me in some bad positions that won't help my driver. So I like the feeling that as I go back, my right arm actually stays pretty straight, okay? Especially at the start here. It's going to fold as the club goes up and I complete my turn. But I do not want to get narrow early with my right arm. The wider we can keep our hand circle, the greater the potential for speed in our golf club. So from my setup, here's what I'm going to do in my takeaway. Tilt to the right. And now as I start my take back here, I'm pushing away, big shoulder turn, keeping the width in the arm before I get to the top. This puts me in the position where as I start to come down, I can maintain my width as I come back into my hitting area. When talking about hitting up on the golf ball, there are various ways this can get done. This would be hitting up on the golf ball, but this would be hitting up on the golf ball with added loft. That's not going to max out our distance. It's going to give us a high launch and a high spin. Not necessarily ideal. What we're looking to do, we're looking to make sure as we come through that our hands are about equal or slightly ahead if you have the range of motion, with the left side going up. Now I'm hitting up on it, but with a less lofted driver. Again, this would not be an ideal way of hitting up on the golf ball. We want to be left side, low loft, but swinging up like this. That's going to help max out ball speed, keep the spin rates lower, and you're going to get maximum distance from there. Okay, let's go on to our final tip here, and then we'll send you on your way. One of the things I see happening in a lot of golfers is in an effort to hit the ball as far as they can, they lose their balance. So that could be falling backwards, that could be coming out of their posture, falling forwards. There's lots of directions we can fall in. There is no good trying to hit it so hard that we fall backwards in an effort this way, okay? So try and finish as best you can. If your feet move, that's absolutely fine. Best players in the world move their feet a lot to gain distance because they're going so dynamically fast at it. That's fine, but we want to stay in balance to the end, okay? So I'm obviously a little bit older, so I'm going to come down and I'm going to be pretty level with my feet. I'm not going to be doing much jumping around. We'll see how it fits together. That's not bad. There's my little fade out there. 283, 3.9 degrees up. I'll be pretty happy getting that one in the fairway. So if you like this video, please subscribe. Pass me on some comments down below. Love to hear from you. And then look out for the next video coming soon.